the song's about.
You've used your platform to criticize President Trump substantially.
Yeah, because he deserves the criticism. He's done some awful things in America, and he's, I think, a really terrible person as well.
In what way?
I think he's selfish, he's racist, he's misogynist, he's a liar, probably the worst liar we've ever seen in public life. He's really ill-informed, a narcissist. I could go on.
Testified about a 2019 tweet that was about President Trump. Teigen, what was the tweet about?
Would you like me to give the direct quote?
Yeah.
Please excuse my language. This is a direct quote, but Chrissy Teigen referred to Donald Trump as a pussy ass bitch.
John Legend has discussed problems in our justice system, noting how rich people avoid jail before trial while poor people who can't afford bail stay locked up. He's also criticized political ideas that he feels promote white nationalism, making historical comparisons. Legend has questioned how any black American could support someone who seems to view them as less than equal.
Legend and his filthy-mouthed wife are talking now about how great it is, but I didn't see them around when we needed help getting it passed. John Legend responded, tweeting, "Imagine being president of a whole country and spending your Sunday night hate-watching MSNBC hoping anybody will praise you. Melania, please praise this man. He needs you."
When celebrities and presidents clash online, things get interesting. That's exactly what happened when John Legend and Chrissy Teigen became targets of Trump's online anger, and they didn't hold back in their responses. It all started on a quiet Sunday night. The president was relaxing, watching TV, possibly enjoying some fast food, when he came across an MSNBC segment about criminal justice reform, actually one of his administration's policy areas. Instead of being pleased with the coverage, he got upset seeing John Legend talking about the topic without specifically giving him credit. This bothered him enough to take immediate action.
Of America. So what he's saying is the ideal version of America is a white America. And anytime brown people infiltrate America, they're messing up the blood of America. They're messing up the gene pool of America. And that takes us back to Hitler. I just can't imagine. It couldn't be me, a black man voting for somebody who believes so deeply that black men are in.
The president sent several late-night messages calling Legend boring and making rude comments about Teigen. Strangely, since she wasn't even in the program, this showed he was complaining about someone who wasn't involved in the broadcast. Teigen hit back with her typical directness, using colorful language that rhymes with wussy sass witch, landing a memorable response in this unusual face-off between political power and celebrity influence.
Some of the politicians in Trump are saying they're blaming video games on, the mass shootings.
Every country has video games.
Every country has video games. They don't have mass shootings like we do.
Why do they go to the video games, Chrissy? Why do you?
Because NRA
Love you too. Thank you for coming.
Every country has video games. Every country has mental illness. Every country has all the other things we have. But they don't have the.
This whole situation shows how strange modern communication has become. A 73-year-old world leader getting into late-night social media arguments about TV coverage, making up scenarios while attacking real people.
Something else I appreciated was on Twitter the other day, seeing your response to being blocked by Donald Trump.
Of course, I mean, it was bound to happen.
I mean, was it bound to happen? Because I was kind of surprised that he actually blocked you. Were you?
I was surprised that at the one that got me blocked, because it was a very throwaway comment. I've definitely said worse, but yeah, it's so funny to me. It's so silly.
The situation escalated when Trump seemingly confused who was actually involved in the broadcast. This set the stage for a major online confrontation, but he didn't realize he had challenged a couple with massive social media influence, sharp wit, and little concern for diplomatic responses. Looking at this situation objectively, the President of the United States, arguably holding the most powerful position globally, became visibly upset over a television program about criminal justice reform, a topic that would normally be considered presidential business. Instead, this turned into a late-night social media dispute, resembling an immature outburst but with significantly higher stakes given the office involved.
If we were being selfish, yes, we'd be just fine with Trump winning because our taxes are going to go down. He wants rich people to pay less in taxes.
Yes.
So if I'm being selfish,
yes,
I'm voting for him because
Yes.
he's going to lower my taxes. If you're running a big corporation, he's very concerned about making sure you're paying lower taxes.
Right. I run a business.
Exactly. So if it were just up to our own selfish desire,
correct,
we're in a tax bracket where he would benefit us. But I think we're both men of responsibility.
Yeah.
We care about.
He ain't gonna benefit enough of us though.
Exactly.
That's my problem.
And I'm going to do fine either way. Like I'm doing fine under Biden, paying higher taxes than I would under Trump. Either way, I'm doing fine.
Correct.
But I care about my responsibility to my community.
The core of Trump's frustration appeared to be that Legend didn't provide him sufficient recognition. This raises questions about priorities, whether the focus was on governance or personal acclaim, as though expecting television programs to conclude with explicit presidential acknowledgments. What made this situation particularly unusual was Trump's decision to include Teigen, who wasn't even featured in the program. She was likely engaged in ordinary activities when suddenly thrust into a confrontation with the president. This pattern of targeting outspoken women who don't offer praise has been noted by observers.
When we protested the killing of George Floyd, he was advocating for the military to shoot us in the streets. He's made it clear throughout his life that he believes black people are inferior. Like he believes that to his core, in his bones. He wouldn't let us live in his buildings back in the day. But also, when you hear some of the stray comments he makes, he clearly believes in a genetic hierarchy of humanity and is racially determined. So he is a tried and true,
Legend has spoken about Trump's rhetoric regarding immigrants, describing it as divisive and noting how it often targets people of color, suggesting they somehow damage America's character. Teigen's response evolved from initial confusion about why she was mentioned at all to finding humor in the situation, before ultimately deciding to engage directly. With significant experience in online exchanges, Teigen appeared well prepared for this high-profile confrontation.
Dana, the one good thing about this Republican Congress is it is now on the congressional record officially that Donald Trump is a ass bitch. And I think we say thank you to Chrissy Teigen.
This incident showcases the unusual nature of modern political communication, where presidential attention can suddenly focus on celebrities, creating unexpected public disputes. Teigen's response to being unexpectedly pulled into this situation was direct and memorable. She posted a message so pointed it immediately went viral. This swift comeback transformed her public image from culinary personality to social media powerhouse, demonstrating how a well-crafted response can be the most effective reply.
The day after that historically clever and otherwise successful speech will be remembered in congressional history as the day that these words entered the congressional record for the very first time in the 234-year history of the Congress of the United States.
Meanwhile, Legend took a different approach. Rather than matching angry rhetoric with more anger, he used this opportunity to highlight more significant issues. By responding to presidential frustration with composure and intelligence, Legend demonstrated an alternative leadership style, focusing on actual policy matters like criminal justice reform instead of seeking personal validation.
Everyone's talking about you and Donald Trump. If you had a chance to have a face-to-face with him in conversation,
No, I would never. No? I would never. Never.
Look, that was serious.
I know. I mean, I just can't. I think I would throw up in my mouth. I don't even know how. It's just not possible for me. It's broken the lines of like, well, let's bring the parties together. No, it's a far past.
Teigen has previously discussed being blocked by Trump on social media, expressing surprise about which particular comment triggered the action. While finding humor in the situation, she acknowledged the seriousness of a president blocking citizens from official communications, noting how although they were only 6 months into the administration, it already felt much longer. The contrast between the approaches is striking, Trump appearing agitated while Legend calmly discusses substantive policy issues, similar to a cartoon character running into an obstacle while their opponent relaxes, unfazed nearby.
So, I think all of us need to have the same kind of grace that we would want our ancestors to have when they moved here, with our Haitian brothers and sisters who move here too. And nobody's eating cats. Nobody's eating dogs. We all just want to live and flourish and raise our families in a healthy and safe environment. How about we love one another? I grew up in the Christian tradition. We said to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. and treat strangers as though they might be Christ. So, how about we adopt that ethos when we talk about immigrants moving to our communities and don't spread hateful, xenophobic.
Together, Legend and Teigen represented complementary response styles, one maintaining professional composure, the other delivering sharp comebacks. Legend's carefully measured responses stood in stark contrast to the president's messages, demonstrating how controlled communication can be more impactful than emotional outbursts.
Hello, everyone. My name is John Legend, and I was born as John R. Stevens from a place called Springfield, Ohio. Oh, Springfield, Ohio. You may have heard of Springfield, Ohio this week. In fact, if you watched the debate, we were discussed by our presidential candidates, including a very special, interesting man named Donald J. Trump.
The entire exchange serves as a case study in different communication strategies, showing that maintaining composure and focusing on substantive issues rather than matching provocative language can ultimately be more effective and dignified. While one party sought validation, the other demonstrated that staying above personal attacks can be the stronger position.
All these phone alerts, some being from Andy, actually. And I was like, what? Something's happening. So I go on Twitter to see it. But I'm still blocked, so I have no idea what he said.
So the president has blocked you because you've said some things about him and he didn't like it, so he blocked you.
Like, I've said a lot of things. I mean, this wasn't that random. I've said a lot of things in the past, I think, since like 2012. I've been saying things about him. But I mean, it was just, so someone had to send me screenshots, and it was, my heart stopped, because at that moment, you know that you're about to get the wildest group of people.
This online confrontation serves as a perfect example of contrasting approaches to public discourse. Most observers would agree that watching this exchange between Trump and Legend was simultaneously entertaining and concerning, highlighting how effective dignified excellence can be as a response strategy rather than matching aggressive rhetoric. The scenario resembled a classic underdog story, except in this case, the supposedly weaker party possessed sharp wit and unflinching confidence, while the powerful figure expressed unusual concerns like windmills causing health problems and viewing certain foods as potential threats to national security. In such matchups, many would place their confidence in Teigen's ability to deliver the more memorable response. While this social media dispute was unfolding, Trump was likely in the White House surrounded by fast food remnants actively engaged in the online conflict. Meanwhile, Legend and Teigen were probably resting peacefully, completely unaware they would wake up to presidential criticism on social media. Teigen isn't primarily known for political engagement. Her background includes cookbook authorship, modeling work, and sharp online commentary. She typically focuses on culinary and lifestyle content rather than governmental affairs. This unexpected situation pulled her from ordinary activities into a high-profile political confrontation without warning, a jarring transition that exemplifies how quickly circumstances can change in today's media environment. Known for her straightforward communication style regardless of who she's addressing, Teigen suddenly found herself in an unprecedented position. Imagine her surprise upon discovering that the President of the United States had directly referenced her as John Legend's filthy-mouthed wife in an official communication, certainly an unusual way to start one's day.